Marlene, is it possible for you to have your section now?
Yes, sure.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much for inviting me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marlene. I'm from Austria and I'm a psychologist, currently living in Spain. And today I'll be talking about the challenges you might be facing when moving abroad. And I will talk about one little way to help yourself when you're facing challenges. This doesn't obviously change everything, but it's just one way to empower yourself. So, what I would like to say first is that a change to a new culture, to a new country, is a very individual experience. Nobody will experience it the way you do. So, there is some shared human experience, but you yourself, you have your own resources, and so you deal with it on your own. So we are all human beings, and we are all shaped by our environment. The first imprint on our person is the family system, and then there are other systems like school, like the society, culture, traditions. And as long as we are in this system, like in this culture that we come from, we feel safe and we feel self-confident. We know how to behave. We know what's okay, what's not okay. We know how to talk to people. We know how to be. And then when we leave our environment, there can be struggles.
So carry your phone. I know my code
is in new environments that we don't know. We don't know how to do this, like even the smaller things, like how to get to authorities, how to approach new people, how to get to know people, because in every culture, it's very different on how to talk to people, how to get to know people. And sometimes this leads to insecurity within ourselves. And we kind of start doubting ourselves, like, am I right? Do I think right? Do I behave right? Because my behavior is so different from the behavior of this new environment. And this leads to some people having the feeling that they are losing their identity. Like they suddenly don't know who they are anymore. And that's all part of this so-called culture shock. Like when getting in a new culture, there's a process going on within you, and it has 3 phases. Phase 1 is called the honeymoon phase, like when everything's exciting and everything is great and you just go to this new place and you just want to have new experiences, getting to know new people. And that's a really nice phase, but then there comes another phase, and that's the phase of crisis. A crisis is always a situation where with your own resources, you are not able to really handle the situation. And you have to get to know new resources in order to do that. So that phase is when those insecurities I was talking about before come up. Like, I'm insecure. Am I right? Or am I an alien in this new environment? But since every phase is just a phase, there comes another phase, and that's relaxation. That's the phase when we understand the new culture, when we when we get to know the social rules, when we get to know the environment, when we get to know everything that's necessary to feel good in this new environment. And then that's the moment where we don't feel like dizzy anymore, where we don't feel like aliens anymore, but we feel secure within ourselves and within this new environment. Funny enough, there's not only a culture shock when we go into a new environment, but also afterwards when we come back to our home country. Because in this time, we have grown, we have learned new things, we have developed, and suddenly, like, those shoes that are left behind, they don't fit anymore. I have just outgrown them. So all this moving abroad thing is something, it's a very intentional process that you should always be very aware of the steps, you know? You should be aware of what's happening within me, what am I dealing with? For example, I went to India after graduating from high school. I went there for a year to, I lived in a convent and I was teaching children there English. And I didn't have this culture shock when I was in India, actually. I was in this honeymoon phase for about 8 months. But when I came back to Austria, that's when the culture shock hit me. And it was about half a year where I didn't feel right where I was, and I didn't feel secure. But after half a year, things felt normal again. So there's no rule on how long this adaptation process lasts. It's like with every other experience that I have in life, it's very individual. It depends very much on me. And I would like to talk about some common hurdles that people usually have when moving. Like the first one are false expectations. Usually I haven't been in this country before, or if I have been, I've been there for 2 weeks maybe, just for holidays or just for visiting. And that's a totally different experience. Also, as I said before, when I listen to other people's experiences, they are always shaped and they are looked at through their own perspective. And so I will make my own experiences. They're like nobody else has the same experiences. Also, I see movies, I hear stories, and it's very important if I go to another country to be really open to make my own experiences, because they will be for me. They will be for nobody else. And another thing is that is a kind of comparison trap we can fall into. That's like when we face those difficulties with this new culture and with this new environment, we can easily get into this trap where I'm like, yeah, at home everything is better. At home people are nicer. At home it's easier. At home things are just better. But in that moment where I start comparing, I stop diving into this new environment, because I feel like this is superior, this isn't, and I kind of stop living this experience. So it's very important to recognize that it's different, but to always be open to make new experience. And another thing that many people do experience is loneliness. When you are a student, you usually get into really good environment, like you have other students there, you have counselors there, you have people to ask if you have any doubts. But if you go to a country on your own, the experience might be very different. You might not get to know people that fast, and you might feel lonely at some point. And there's another thing, when people aren't treating us with respect. That's also a big issue for people moving abroad. As well, and it's just really important to know that your worth is inherent, and worth, like, nobody can take it away from you, as well as your dignity. Nobody in this world can take it away from you. You can give it away, but nobody can take it. And so there are many different things that might come up and that might happen, way more than I can talk about right now. But I would like to give you one kind of exercise that you can use in situations where it's difficult for you, and that's self-compassion. We are very used to be compassionate with others. We learn respect your parents, respect your family, respect your teachers, respect everyone, and that's great. But don't forget to respect yourself as well, and to be there for yourself. Self-compassion is a way to deeply care for yourself, to listen to yourself, to be there for you. Because when you experience loneliness, you think you are the only person in the world and you are alone, but you actually aren't. Like, you are always with yourself, even if at this very moment there is no one else. when you are in a difficult situation, and let's take the example that I feel like I'm alone and I'm so different than everybody else, and then just be there for yourself and listen, and you can like maybe close your eyes and just breathe and see what's there. And there can be the thought, nobody is there for me. I'm so alone in this. At home, everything is better. And when I feel this and when I experience it, I can maybe also experience that that's not true. I am there for myself. My whole, like, if I feel like nobody understands me, I can know I understand myself. There's a whole culture that understands me. There's a whole country that understands me. There's a whole like church that understands me. And it's the moment where the transformational process starts. Like when I get to experience that, okay, I am not alone. I may be alone physically right now, but within me, I'm not. And there are so many people who do understand me and who are like me. Like, although there's nobody else the same person, but you know what I mean. And so self-compassion is really a way to be there for yourself and to adapt to anything. Because in that process of self-compassion, you can take your own time. Not everybody wants to adapt not everybody can adapt within a month. Not everybody can adapt within 6 months. That's a very individual process. And when I see that I am there for myself, I'm there for me, then I have a friend and I have everyone. And as we all know, our family is always within us. God is always there. And I'm always there. And that's one thing that helps me face everything. Okay. So, yeah, if you have any struggles or anything, just feel free to also ask for help. You don't have to do everything on your own. And that's the message that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you.